A deadly winter storm is taking its toll this week from Texas to New England, producing severe power outages for hundreds of thousands of us. How difficult in freezing conditions is it to get the power back on? With me, the chairman of the Foundation for Resilient Societies, a nonprofit group that advocates protecting the electric grid from both natural and man-made disasters, is Thomas Popik. Thomas, thanks for being with us. Now, tonight, and next week, we're going to have a whole hour on the grid. But without talking specifically about terrorism, solar flares, EMPs, deadly storms have been causing major weather-related power outages. How severe do these storms get, and how do they create an outage?
Well, the storms can be actually quite severe and create outages for millions of people. In the wintertime, the outages are caused by snow getting on trees, which then fall on local neighborhood power lines, or a more serious circumstance, sometimes we get freezing rain that can accumulate on transmission lines. When that happens, a lot more people can be affected by the outage.
And how does it actually affect the grid itself? How does it become bigger than just that branch that may be iced up falling on a power line?
If you get a transmission line that's taken out, it can actually bring generation plants offline. I'll give you an example. Nuclear power plants need to be connected to a functioning grid so that they can operate safely. We had a situation in New England last winter where a storm came through. It knocked off one of the transmission lines going to the nuclear power plant. That then knocked the nuclear power plant offline. It actually caused an electricity shortage here in New England, and we narrowly avoided a major blackout. So there are certainly circumstances where you can have a bit of a cascading effect during these major storms and really get either to the verge of a major blackout or actually a real blackout.
And then let's assume that there was a problem, say a significant problem. Why does it take so long to get the lines back up and running? I mean, if we know what's there and we know why does it take so long?
The electric utility companies staff their line crews for normal circumstances. If you have a big storm that comes through, you may have thousands of locations that are without power. And so they don't have enough staff. Typically, there's mutual assistance agreements where they bring in line crews from neighboring states. During Hurricane Sandy, 67,000 line crews were brought in from all over the country. In some cases, they were actually loaded with their bucket trucks onto military transports and flown into the Sandy disaster area. When there's a lot of individual neighborhoods that are knocked out, it just takes a long time to get to all those neighborhoods. If you have a transmission line that goes down, that's a complicated situation, too.
All right, but finally, Tom, does the enormity and the uniqueness of these storms have the potential to create a bad scenario or the worst-case scenario that you could imagine? Taking down the whole grid?
I have to say, usually winter storms, the electric utilities do a pretty good job. What we're concerned about more than winter storms is a situation called an LTO, or a long-term outage. That's when the electricity goes out for long enough. It brings down not only the grid, but also the telecommunication systems and the natural gas pipelines. And then you get a very difficult situation that our country really hasn't experienced before.
All right, Tom Popik, thanks so much. We're going to have much more on the power grid next weekend on our hour-long special investigation into the power grid danger.